Hey everyone, welcome back to part 4 in my painting with Luminaire Air Dry Paints. So if you've been following me on part 1, 2 and 3, you will know that I've been working with Luminaire Air Dry Paints, painting Danny. So that's just a little bit of a tutorial so everyone can see how the air dry paints work and how easy they are. And part 4 is pretty much an advanced set to that. So if you've been working on 1, 2 and 3 and you've finished your baby like Danny is here and you're happy with him or her, that's fine, that's great. That strawberries and cream sort of complexion, he's still got detail, he's still pretty, he's still really nice. But as you know, I'm doing a tutorial here, so some people like to go that step forward and do the advanced. So if you're one of them, then you wouldn't have done the sealant yet. So anyway, that's fine. If you did, we can work around that. But so we're going to do the advanced part and we're going to work with Danny, and I'm probably going to do about 2 more layers on him. So we'll see how that goes. So today I might do a bit of a shout out for another YouTube channel, the SMN channel. I think that is the SMN channel, where Nikki Holland does the videos. She's pretty good, and a lot of people really love her and follow her. And she's got the little idea of having the camera on the side, which gives a closer look up at some of the more details. So I don't know how it's going to go. Please bear with me, but I'm going to try to do that today. So some of you can see the closer detail. I mean, as in this, let me just put it on here, hopefully work it. So as in this, let me just see. You can see there, you can see him a little bit clearer than you can on the screen of my computer laptop. So that's how Danny is going now. So I'll just stop that again. Okay, so anyway, we will get started. I probably should have kept it going. First we're going to start with our cosmetic wedge. I'll just turn that on again, guys. So with my cosmetic wedge, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the holes for mottling. So I have got, I'm going to keep looking at that, it's going to seem pretty silly. I've got my tweezers and just a sponge. So what you do is I normally pull off the 4 edges first, just as simple as that, and then I go in for the kill. So some of them I try to get a little bit bigger, spread my tweezers and pull, and others I'll just do little pieces. Now as you can see, they're all looking pretty different. There's no right or wrong way, it's just we don't want them to be all the same, and we don't want them really to be overlapping too much. So as you can see, that's pretty bumpy, and try to get another small one in there now. No, that's alright. Okay, so that's how we do that. And now we go to the paint. So I've got my little bowl here, and I've got my water. And basically I'm going to start with a purpley kind of color. So I've got purple wash. I'll show you too. The lights make it hard to see. And I've got the berry lip nail. So I'm just going to put like a few little droplets. I seem to like the drops. At the moment it's hot weather here, and the humidity I think really takes over. It dries things quickly, and it just works better for me. So anyway, I'm going to use my purple wash. Better wet up my brush, it's a little bit stiff. So purple wash, I'm going to do 2 sides of that. And then my lip and nail berry, I'm trying to get more of a purple look here, so I'm just going to put a little bit in there and see what I can come up with. Yeah, that's pretty good. Good that you can see it this time, hopefully. That's all working. Okay, so put my lids on there. Put my water out of the way for a moment. And then we've got Danny. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to paint onto the brush, onto the cosmetic wedge, and then I'm going to pounce all over Danny. So hopefully you can see it all okay. Obviously you can see the paint going on there, and you can see the little holes. So then it's just literally pounce on. Can you see that? You can already see that drying and giving that real mottled sort of effect. Okay, so a bit more. If you have any bits that come on like that that are a bit too excessive, just try to get your corner of your sponge to blend it in. We don't want big bits like that. This is okay over here. There's going to be hair which will cover up if it's too dark. It's great, really great. So just get onto his face there. Feels like I'm working in a little space here. It's so funny. Okay. So the ears, I just pounce over the ears. It's really hard to mottle them, but it's good to have the colour onto them. This guy's going to need his lips touched up too. So you can see there now that Danny has a little bit more definition. You can see some little spots over here and on his head. It's definitely more defined. He's more, if you can see him up to the screen there, obviously the light sort of takes over, but he has definitely got a little bit more life in him now, which is really great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the limbs, and then we'll come back for the next section. So I'll turn this off here. Very good. So yes, I'm going to do the limbs in the mottling, let it dry for the 20 minutes, and then we're going to come back for the next round of mottling. He has some really lovely mottling which comes through to his face. So it's really made him a little bit more character. I'm really liking it. So just checking that that's not recording, and I'm sorry that I'm looking over to that all the time. As everything, I will keep evolving and getting better at what I'm doing. So anyway, let's get our bowl again. And so for this one, we've got the Colormate Red and the Colormate Ultramarine Blue. I better put this on. So they're the colors we're using. They're an upgrade from the usual master set you will use on Luminaire Air Dry Paints. I like to get that red and blue sort of look into my mottling, so I bought them. I do sell them. At this stage I have not listed them, but probably by the time you've watched this I would have already listed them. But if they are not listed and you can't find them anywhere, contact me on an email below, AussieRebornSupplies.com, at live.com.au, and you can order them directly from me. Okay, so let's get this started. So I've put the little bit of water in there. You can see it's just a little bit. That even might be too much, but I might just take a little bit out just because I can add the water as I'm going. It's best to have less is more, then if I need it I can add it. So I'm going to add the red first. Take it from in here, I think. Actually, I'll get there. So I'll just add a little bit at a time. You don't need to add it all at once. We want to it to work properly. So to work properly, we need to add it as we go. And my blue, don't fall over there, guys. So that's made quite a nice maroony type of colour. So I'm liking that. You can, it depends on, you know, each to their own. Add a little bit more red is going to get maybe a little bit more of a, yeah, see how that's gone a little bit more maroon, which I think I'm liking. Yeah, that's great. The other one was a little bit more of a purpley tone, and this one I'm wanting to be a little bit more red. Just going to pop the lids on those. Now these are the little jars I spoke about before. They have exactly the same quantity as this. You'll find these are not full to the brim when these are. They're very particularly made to be the correct weight. So I'll get on with this because this camera only has a limited amount of time left. So now I'm going to add the paint just like I did before. I'm going to use the same mottled brush, mottled sponge I used before. You can make a new one if you wish, especially if you want your mottling design to be a little bit different, but I'm just going to use this one for this time. Put it on there like that and pounce on. So you should be able to see what comes out. Okay, can you see that? Great. So do it over the entire kit like we did before. So after this layer has dried, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a blending layer, which will be like a flesh tone, to blend all those mottled looks in. And then hopefully it will be enough that I can do the sealant. Danny has definitely got more life in him now than he did with the standard painting way. I'm a lot more happy with him. I'll also be giving a little bit more life to his lips. I think he needs it. And I'll see after that whether I think he needs any more blushing or anything. But at the moment, he's going pretty good. You can see that mottling. Okay, just stop that. So, as with every other time, I need you now to finish that mottling on all of his limbs. Do all of his limbs and then let it dry for the 20 minutes and come back and we will keep going. Okay, so I'm going to now get started with the flesh tone. That'll be a blending layer which will blend everything in. He's going just so well. I'm so happy with him. So it's going to blend all that mottling in so it doesn't look so on top of it. I won't put that on yet. I'm just going to start with the cosmetic wedge. Now this time I just want it to have a frazzled sort of textured edge, so I'm going to rip off the end as I've done with other episodes. So it's just completely ripped off, so we've just got a little bit of texture on there. Okay, so then we're going to start with our flesh tones. I'm not putting on the camera at the moment because I think I've only got about 2 minutes recording left, so I want to just make that for the exact stuff we need. So anyway, with the flesh tone, like I said, blending layer, so it doesn't need to be full on in color, like thickness wise. So I've just got a little bit of water in the bottom there. Now I looked at my colors and I've got 4 flesh colors. I've got light flesh. The other camera's better for showing those sort of things, isn't it? Anyway, I've got light flesh, medium flesh, Asian flesh tone, and dark flesh. Now the light flesh, I'm going to have to show you. Okay, so the light flesh is like really a pale color, almost a yellowy, be even good for nail tips with a little bit of white. The medium flesh is coming into more of a peach apricot color. The Asian flesh tone, of course, has a yellowing to it, like a mustard look, and then the dark is dark. But I don't want it to be that dark, so what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to mix some medium and dark together, so hopefully I get a nice general shade. So just going to mix them together like I did with the other paint that you saw before. So mix it until I get the consistency or color that I like. The best thing about, you know, when you get to know your paints and everything, you can play around with them and you can be the master of them. You can decide how you want that to look. It's the best part of it. So I have got like quite a bit of the dark one on there because I want it to blend. I want it to be skin tony, dark, but then I don't want it to be really dark like an ethnic look. So I'll just show you on my camera how that looks. So you can see that I've got to mix it in a little bit more, but you can see it's like a nice, it's definitely a nice skin tone. I'm really happy with it. And I'll be really happy if all these little extra camera bits work, because you can really see what I'm doing. Okay, so it's the same as we did before, and I will show you a little bit of that, but I won't show you too much because I want to quickly show you the lips and everything. Whoopsie. Okay, so simply wiping over my cosmetics wedge and pouncing on. Focus in there. So that's what I'll do over the whole kit. Stop it again. So pouncing over the whole section, it'll all blend in well, and then I'm going to do a little bit of the lips. So I'll do over the head. I think the blending layer is important. I mean, when I'm working with Genesis heat set paints, you know, sometimes my mottling might look a little bit, well, not dark, but it's obvious. And when I do the blending of flesh layer over the top, or sometimes I do 2 or more, it just really brings it underneath the skin. It makes it look like any of the mottling is under the skin, which sometimes makes it look like a little tiny minute micro vein under the skin. So I think it's really important to do. Don't miss that step. You want it to be a 3D looking effect. That's with it, whether you're using air dry paints or heat set. Highly recommended. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video now and I'll start it in 1 second for the lips. So now I'm just going to give a little bit of a touch of more colour on the lips. I might even do a little bit on the palms and the cheeks. I'll see how I go first. So what I'm going to do, I don't need a lot of water because it's going to be a thicker consistency. So let me just turn this on. Okay, got a few more minutes here so I can see how we go. So just a couple of drops. Probably a little bit too many drops there, as you can see in there. So I've got the berry blush tone and the lip, nail and berry. So as you will see, the lip, nail and berry is quite dark and the berry blush tone is lighter. So what I'm going to do is I want a darker look for little Danny there. So I will get some of the dark, just grabbing a little bit there, mix that in. Probably see I've got a little bit too much water there, so I might just get some out of there. So I'll turn that off while I'm mixing, just so I get to give you the full view of when I'm putting the lips on. Just keep adding the paint color I want until I get the consistency I like. Of course, I don't want to go too dark. You know, this is a baby, of course. I'm not going to put red lipstick on it. But I want to go, of course, so it shines out and it is noticeable. Each to their own. Some people like more of a pinkish look. This is going to be a boy, and I just thought maybe a darker look. So that is my colour paint that I'm going with. And I've got my lip and nail brush, and I'm simply going to paint it directly on. He's got a little bit of like inside mouth area there. So I literally paint it to the shape of his lips. I don't want to have it pooling like I've talked to you about in other episodes. So what I'll do is when I get it to the shape and everything that I want, I'll just pounce it out with a cosmetic wedge, and even my general brush, because that'll pick it up. And as you can see, without me perfecting it right at this second, which I will be perfecting it, it's already darker, and that's what I want. I just want it to show out. So I'm going to turn this off, take that out of the way, and literally just keep working on the lip area until I get the shape, tone, texture that I want. I don't want him to look like a little baby that's put lipstick on and has it everywhere. You have to be very careful that you're working very slowly, very carefully to get all that right. Nothing worse than seeing a reborn baby that has got literal lipstick all over it. That's what it looks like. So if you need to do a if you need it to set, simply set it, give it the 20 minutes, and then come back and do some more. Don't rush for the full effect right now. Just go with it. So that's looking much better than it did before. I just want it to sort of stand out, you know. I don't want it to look like nothing. But of course I don't want it to stand out crazy either. I mean, that's about bright, you know, it's not like dark red lipstick. Okay, so you know, even with that color, you can put a little bit into the ears, make those ear creases highlighted a little bit more. I know we did the creases before and they're still here on my ears, but this is just giving that more of a defined look. So you can see that's nice and clear, you can see the arches and everything. This is a bit less. It's like the same flesh tone. So just gently, and then you can get your little cosmetic wedge and just pounce over it to blend it in a little bit if you feel. So places like that you can do. This is the benefit of doing you know, level 4, is to add in your own little touches. I might put a little bit on the eyelid there to make that stand out a little bit more too. I can do it. You can do it. Whatever you think needs a little bit more love and care. So I'll leave you with that. Keep going, add your extras in, and once those extras are added on, what we have to do now is say goodbye for 72 hours. So once you've finished adding all your extras that you want, if you want a little bit more on cheeks or palms, whatever you want to do, once you finish that, leave your baby to dry, have it completely set for 72 hours, and then we're going to come back and do that sealant. Okay, so after the sealant is the lip, nail, and nail gloss. So we've only got 2 more stages, and then you finish the complete, more advanced section. So once again, I'll just put this on so you can see him a little bit better. So you can see he's definite more character in him than he had before. It's not like even that though, that's showing out a little bit too much. His cheek doesn't really look all pink and blotchy there. It looks quite nice. So maybe a little bit of a further back shot and you can now see him. Okay, so that was the end of my SD card on there. So that's perfect. Keep going and I'll see you in 72 hours. Well, it'll be for you 1 second, but in 72 hours, so we can finish this baby. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me again for the almost the last part of the sealing of baby Danny. Now, as I've been showing you, he is looking really, really good. There is a lot of detail to him, which I'm still hoping that the picture-on-picture will work. I've got someone to come and help me with it today, but because I am not 100% sure on that, I'm not going to use it. But either way, I will show you a picture at the end of him all complete. But I am hoping, you know, that you can see there, which I'm sure you can see that there's mottling and he's got lots of definition now. There's a lot of different, see the looks in his forehead and that. That's really good. So it looks a lot more realistic now and I'm really happy with it. So today we're going to seal it. Now at the end of part 3, which you can just click on the link and up above me, and that will get you to part 3. But at the end of part 3, I did the sealer. I did a mock sealer on Danny and showed everyone how you would do it. So generally, today I'm going to use a spray-on sealer by Luminaire. So if you have got the cream sealer, go back to the end of part 3 and just see how I did it there, or I showed you how to do it, to show you how to do it. But if you've got the spray sealer by Luminaire, which a lot of people go for as well, this video will help you with that. So I'm just going to put all these limbs there and I've just got his head. So I'm going to give this a shake up first. So it's just something different. Everyone uses a lot of different things, as I'll show you the other sealer which you get. Oopsie. This is the Luminaire Shine Reduction Sealer. That's what you get with the master set. And the spray-on sealer does the same thing. Just some people might prefer it. It's an option. It's always great to have options when you're buying things. Okay, so I'm just going to test this on my hand first, so we get the first part out. Great. So it's more of a pump spray type thing. So what you do is you spray it on your kit. By the way, this kit has been sitting for 72 hours. It's actually sat for about 90 hours, I think. It's been sitting here waiting for it. You need to let your paint rest and sit for 72 hours before you do this process. So I'm just going to start on the back of him, and I'm just going to spray it on. As you can see, it's come on creamy. And then just with my sponge, I'm going to pounce it out. We don't want any thick spots, just as like we spoke about with the shine reduction sealer. We need to really make it go around. So what I'm doing is, it looks like, well, it is, this amount of spray sealer that I have used will do his whole head. So I've just pounced it all over, making sure I'm blending it out. So blending it out, what I mean is just, I'm not leaving any thick pools of the sealer. I'm trying to get it evenly spread over the whole head. When it gets to the creases, I just like to sort of work a little bit more, pounce in that area, trying to get within any creases so I don't miss anything. So that means when I'm working with the ears, I'm just sort of maybe a bit slower so I get it in there and around. I can see there's some sealer has pooled behind the ear there, so I'll try to get that out with the edge of my sponge. Go with either edge. And then pounce it in the ear. So the more even the sealer is, the better result we're going to get. If you do get any hairs in there, try to pick them out so they don't get stuck. It is like in my eyes, it's sort of like a gluey kind of product. So as everything seals, what is there will seal too. Like any dust or anything, fine pieces underneath. So if you have animals in the house, either try to clean your area before you do this, or be very aware. Okay, so that looks like it's gone all the way over. As you see, there'll be not much change with him, but he is completely now covered with the sealer. So I'll put that aside, and I'll do the same with his limbs. So I'll just show you his limbs. So there is his leg. See the creases there. His feet, under his feet. So once again, I just sort of rock it back and forwards. I don't really like to shake it, otherwise it gets too bubbly. So I'm just going to do two squirts on him. Actually, one squirt, see how we go. So you can see the creams running down his leg, and pounce that all out. It's exciting. Baby Danny's almost done. Well, he'll just have to get his hair now, and then he can be ready to go home to mummy. Definitely be home by Christmas. Now on the back of his leg here, I can see some kind of flaky blue paint. It's not his. So I've just sort of picked that out again before it seals. This is very easy to use, I have to say. I'm happy with it, very happy with it. So there we go. That was that easy. And I'll put him on my, I've got a baby bottle drying rack, which you can get from any sort of nursery outlet baby store. And I'll just sit that like that, and then that'll dry. Okay, so I'm going to work with the rest in a minute, but then we've just got the air dry gloss on his lips. Now I've got my technician coming over to incorporate all these videos together very shortly, so I won't be able to do this, but it's so easy. You'll just have your simple lip and nail brush. You'll just open it up, put it directly onto the lips, you know, like a spot of it, and just like you're doing your own lips, just get it around the area. If you've got a little bit too much, just put a little bit in the nostrils, like so, give that wet look. You can put a little bit around the eye, like there, give that wet look, and a tiny little bit in the ear. Okay, and then you'll also put a little bit, you'll put like you're doing your own nails, so nail polish, just a clear coat of nail polish on every nail you see, and that's it. Then you let that dry again. So the spray sealer, I'm personally going to let dry. I'm going to leave it for 24 hours. There's no need to rush these things. It's best just to let them take their course and work properly. If you feel you need another coat of sealer, by all means do it. It's just a protective coat, and it also reduces shine. It gives a better look in the end. So finalize your sealer, then do your lip and nail gloss, and then you're done. You're completely done. So that would be great. So thank you. If you did decide to go the extra mile and work into the advanced section, like I always say, send me an email. I'll put a little email over here, and my email address. Email me some pictures. I would love to see them. I really would. But yeah, thank you for joining me for that, and I hope everything went really well. Don't forget, ask me any questions at any time, and I'll answer you back, and hopefully help you with whatever you need. And enjoy the picture of Danny finished that you're about to see. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.